Hello, and welcome back to the channel. It's puzzle time once again with Sudoku Sleuth, and we've got a phenomenal looking puzzle here for us to get on with today. Now, when I picked today's puzzle, essentially I went back to look for what were some of the popular ones that we featured on this channel, and by quite a margin, the Millennium Falcon and that tribute to Star Wars is the most watched video on this channel. Not entirely surprising, Star Wars has a big fan base, and it was, after all, a phenomenal puzzle. Now, we're quite fortunate in that the constructor of Millennium Falcon has actually done several of these, and we're looking at this one here today, which is Darth Maul by Ceedrich. Now, if my recollection is correct, and if you don't remember who Darth Maul is, so Darth Maul was one of the Sith, I believe, in Phantom Menace. And you may remember this epic fight scene between Obi-Wan Kenobi and his master, Qui-Gon Jinn, where they were both fighting Darth Maul, and it had this epic background music from John Williams as well. Phenomenal, real cinematographic scene. Although the rest of the movie, I suspect many of you will find is a little bit disappointing. Now, enough of that as an introduction. Let's take a look at what we have for today's puzzle. So, rules are normal Sudoku rules apply. So we need to place the digits 1 through to 9 in every row, every column, and indeed every box. This is something we're all now familiar with. And over here, it immediately references, Darth Maul's essentially appearance. And it is quite distinctive if you recall it. He had face tattoos, horns, and the rules actually references and their eyes as well. So black face tattoos, which are these lines, are renban lines. So renban lines, if you recall, means that they are a set of consecutive digits. It doesn't necessarily mean that if this is a 1, that has to be a 2. It just means that if this is a 1, then we need to place 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 somewhere on this 6-digit renban line. We also have the eyes, the red dots, are quadruple clues. It means then we need to place 3 somewhere in this quadrant of 4 cells, and 4, 5 somewhere in these 4 cells, at least in this box where it's contained. The lightsaber and red-gray line. Darth Maul famously had a double lightsaber, which is this bit joined by this grain section in here, is a palindrome. So I'm interpreting that to mean that this cell here is the same as that, this cell here is the same as that, and this cell here is the same as that. Lastly, we have digits separated by a horn. These brown ellipses have a difference of 2. So I'm going to make up an example here. So if this is 4, for example, these 2 cells have to be from 2 and 6. And, we can immediately then place 6 in here and 2 in there. So that's all the rules that we have for today. So if you want to play along, link as usual in the description down below. And what I'll do now is restart the clock and see how we get on with today's puzzle. As I was explaining the rules, I'm going to take a look at this renban line. So if this set of 3 digits is the same as this set of 3 digits, you can essentially take a look at, did I explain that in the rule set? It isn't mentioned in the rule set. This diagonal clue here means that these 6 cells must sum up to 12. But because it's a palindrome, it means these 3 must sum up to 6, and these 3, which are identical digits, must sum up to 6. So to make up 6 in 3 cells, it's got to be 1, 2, and 3, and it's got to be 1, 2, and 3 in here as well. Yep. Now we've got this renban, and I remember it was a 6-cell renban that we've got here and a 6-cell renban that we've got in there. So if we think about the renbans, if it's 6-cell and all in the same box, so it can be as low as 1, 2, 3, starting at 1, and therefore 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, ending at 6. or it can be as high as 9. But if you add 6 cells onto the 9, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, you'll quickly find that we have 4, 5, and 6 all common. Therefore, we have to place 4, 5, and 6 in here. But equally, we're going to have to place 4, 5, and 6 in this renban. And it clearly cannot be on these 3 cells because we've already used them in this renban. So these have to be from 4, 5, and 6. And we can go a step further because of this quadruple clue. The 4 and 5 in this renban line are going to have to be in here. And the 6 is anywhere else, really. We don't know what that is yet. I think we can take this a step further still. So the fact that 4, 5, and 6 is common between them, and therefore they're separate, this cell, these 3 cells, cannot be part of these 3 cells. Or I should say, these 3 cells cannot be part of this renban, clearly, because they're in the same box. So what I think that means is it's got to be 2 extreme renbans. In essence, this may be 1, 2, 3, and therefore this will be 7, 8, and 9. Or this is 7, 8, and 9, and therefore this will be 1, 2, and 3. I'm not sure I can really pencil mark that in. But I actually know which one is which. So let's try this on. And I suspect you've already seen this as well. If I put 1, 2, and 3 in here, what would this cell be? So this cannot be the 1, 2, 3 renban. This has to be the 7, 8, 9. The 1, 2, 3 has to be in here. In fact, because of this quadruple clue, we know the 3 has to be in here. And now we know that the remainder will be 1, 2, and 6. Perfect. 1, 2 triplet here means this is not a 1 or 2. This is the 3. Pardon me. This 3 here, well, we've eliminated 3 already from both of these. Now this renban line tells us that this is a 3 as well. Neither of these are 3. Is there anything else we can do here? I mean, it's obvious that there's a 3 up there, but I'm not sure that's interesting yet. And I'm not seeing anything else we can progress at this point, so I'm going to take a look at probably the horns next. So I just don't see how there's anything else that's of relevance in the grid. So the rule of these horns was these ellipses have to have a difference of 2. So whatever I put in there will have to have a difference of 2 from whatever is in there. So let's think about the fact we've got 4, 5, and 6 in here. And in fact, the 4 and the 6 are very interesting. So if we're 2 away from a 4, it can only be 2 or 6, but 6 is already gone in that box. Now also 6, to be 2 away, is either a 4, which is gone, or an 8. So in here we have a 2 and 8, and something that is 2 away from 5, which would be either a 7 or a 3. These are not 3, however. And what we do know for sure is we do have 2 and 8 in this row. And therefore we have a 2 in here. And we've already said we have a 3 because of these 2 3s down there. That 3 has to be in this column. Now, let's think about this for a second. So, yeah, I mean, these digits are clearly very deliberate by Ceedrich. So let's think about the digit. Which one would it be? 4. And the question to ask yourself is, can we actually place a 4 in here? And take a look at this cell. So remember, to be 2 away from 4 is either a 2, not possible, or it's a 6, also not possible because it's gone in the row. It has to be in here. So this cannot be a 4. Therefore, this cannot be a 2. And do we have something similar on the other end? So this can be a 4 because we can place... No, we cannot place the 4 here either. Obviously, because we see the 2 from the row. It doesn't have to be in the same box. And we already see the 6. So 4 has to be in the middle. That's not 4. So that's a 5-6 pair. This is 2. These are no longer 2. And that's now... Yeah, because they cannot be a 3 because of these 3s. So this is now a 7-8 pair. And therefore we know this has to be the 3 because of, well, Sudoku. This 2 sees the 1, 2 here. So this is a 1, this is a 2. Palindrome means this is a 1, this is a 2. This is going surprisingly well at this point. Now this 5, if this is a 5, this would be either a 3 or 7. 3 is certainly possible. If this is a 6, this would have to be 4 or 8. Clearly 4 isn't, but 8 is. Now 5 in here. 7 is also not possible, so this would be either a 3. In fact, there has to be a 3 in one of these. And a 6 has to be in one of these, because one of these 2 cells. Because we see a 4 on the row as well as in the box in this particular case. So this is a 3-8 pair. Now we need a 1 and a 9 to complete it. This 1 here tells us this is the 1, that's the 9. 7 and 8, 5 and 6, we're left with yet another 1 and 9 pair at the top to finish box 2. Actually a little bit worried, thinking that we have nowhere near enough digits to solve this, surely. But we've largely used all the clues, so I can't imagine that we're only left with Sudoku at this point. Well, let's do a bit of Sudoku. This 4 sees this 4-5 pair. That's a 5. That's a 4. We have a 1 and a 2 looking at this triplet. That's a 6, therefore. So these are not 6. This 2 tells us this is the 1. That's the 9. Maybe I'm mistaken and we can actually solve it from here. I'm sure the puzzle has a solution for. So to complete this column, this is from 7, 8, and 9. That's not 7. 4 can only be placed in here. 5 and 6. 5 has to be in this column. In fact, 5 is placed because of these 2. So the only cell left in box 8 is in here. And there is a 6 on either end, but let's see what that 5 does. So that means that's the 6, that's the 5. 6 eliminates 6 from in here and in there. This is now a 6. This is from 7, 8, 9, but it's not a 7 because of this 7. And that's the 7 that we have in here. That's not 7. And we're making surprising progress despite how relatively few cells we have. So I'm taking a look at other nearly complete rows or columns. That's the one I'm sort of thinking of next. So we still need a 5, 7, and 8. Not a huge number of restrictions other than this not being a 5. Is there anything else in here that helps us make a bit more meaningful of a progress? Maybe top one then, we need 2, which we know is on this side. This 2 tells us that's not the 2, that's the 2. We still need to place 6, 7, and 8. We know the 7 is over here. So this is from 6 or 8. And this is from 6, 7, or 8. And there's definitely a 7 in there. So we still need to place a 5 and a 9 in here. Not 5, not 9, but really doesn't seem very helpful. I'm missing anything else that I should be spotting. So this 9 tells us this is not a 9. This is the full 7, 8, 9. We haven't eliminated 3 or 8 on either of these. Yeah, of course, we have to know. We do actually know what these are. That's the 7, that's the 8. Therefore, we should be able to complete this. This is the 8, this is the 9. That's the 7. Therefore, this is the 9. That's the 8. 8. So I'm guessing it is only purely Sudoku at this point. This 3 is looking at this. So this is 8. That's 3. That's 6. That's not 6. That's a 7-8 pair. And we now know what all of these are. So that's, we said from 5, 9, but no, I've made an error somewhere. Yeah, that's not 6 or 7. That's 7 or 8. So, and there is a 6 in here. We said that's not 5. That's not 9. We need 1, 3, and 4 in there. That's not 3, 4, or 1. But we're not able to place any of them yet. So we need to place 9 and 8 in here because we've got this 8, 9 in there, and this is 5, 7, and do we need to have an 8 in there? No, we don't actually. So the only thing we know is there is a 9 on this 2 cells. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we still need to place 5, 6, 7, and 8. Are any of these restricted? Yeah, this has to be a 7. So you've got this 7, and this 7, all looking within the box and essentially creating this horseshoe, leaving this only cell available for the 7. So that's an 8, that's a 5. That's not 5. This is a 6, 9 pair. Therefore, this is the 5. We have that 8, 9 set down. So we know what these are because of this 8. So that's 8, that's 9. We need 5 and 6, and we know the order of that thanks to the 5 in box 3. We still need to place a 2 in here, plus 1 or 4. Now this 1 or 4 sees this cell, so that's the 2. That's 1 or 4, but this 4 tells us that's 1, that's 4, that's 3, that's 1. We're not able to resolve these just yet. Let's keep going in this box, and in fact even this row. So we still need to place 3 and 9. That's 9, that's 3. And we still need to place a 4, a 6, and an 8, and we're able to place all of these. Now these rows we need to place 1 and 6. We know where the 1 is because of this 1, 6. 2 and 9, we don't know where either is. We need to place 3, which is in these 2, 7 or 8. So 8 is in here, therefore that's a double, and that's 7. Yeah, that looks all in order for me. So 1, you know, we've got these 2 1s and this, so we have to place it in there. 2 is not as restricted as you might expect. Let's take a look at this row first. Where do we need, what do we still need to place? We've got 3 and 4. 4 tells us that's the 4, the 3, this 4 here. We still need to place 2, 7, and 6. Not quite as restricted as I would have hoped. So these are 6, these are 7. And we probably need to look at the column to see if there's anything that's, you know, a double or something that would just help us close this out. Unless I've made a mistake somewhere. So 7 and 8, this 3 looks at that 3, 8. So that's got to be the 8, that's the 3, and that's probably the rest of this puzzle solved from here. 7 is 6, 2, 7, 9, 2, 6. And if I've not made any mistakes, 9, and that's the solution for today's puzzle. Kenobi. Ah, phenomenal. Really enjoyed that, Ceedrich. Thank you so much for creating it. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. Link in the description down below as usual. And please do leave a comment and let me know how you've got on. Thanks for watching and see you back tomorrow.